What's up? Fanny Snipes back at it with the Sniper Podcast, joined by Braden, Drew, and F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Mr. Fitzgerald, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Drew. I was born in St. Paul, Minnesota on September 24th, 1896. My parents were poor, but they had some social status. I was actually named after my second cousin, Francis Scott Key. You might know him as the author of Star Spangled Banner.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing. So, on our podcast, we'll be talking about one of your most popular books. This is called The Great Gatsby, and The Great Gatsby takes place in the Roaring '20s, and it talks about the lives of people living in poverty and wealth and how they managed to deal with Prohibition.
Prohibition was the ban on the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages. It was established by the 18th Amendment.
The law turned out to be unenforceable. Some effects this had on society were stimulated crime because of the ban, encouraged smuggling and bootlegging, which is the illegal manufacture and sale of alcoholic beverages. Homebrew became popular, and speakeasies arose on every corner of the city.
Prohibition in America was a nationwide attempt to legislate morality through maintaining anything to do with alcoholic beverages.
Mr. Fitzgerald, how did you feel about Prohibition in general?
Well, it certainly made things more difficult for me. I was a big alcoholic, and Prohibition made, alcohol illegal. But during the era of Prohibition, me and my wife Zelda drank alcohol publicly and partied like there was no tomorrow.
During this time, how were you able to get access to alcohol?
Illegally.
To change the subject, how were the sales of The Great Gatsby?
Well, the critics said it was a quintessential story of not only the 1920s, but also of the American experience. And the novel chronicles the exuberance as well as the malaise of the decade, showing how America's fascination with material success was eroding values. The novel did receive critical praise, but sales were unfortunately mediocre.
So, F. Scott Fitzgerald, what was your reason behind writing The Great Gatsby?
Well, me and Zelda spent money as fast as I could make it. In fact, we actually spent more than I could make, and we quickly found ourselves in debt. I was supposed to spend the rest of my life in a futile struggle to make ends meet, so I decided to write a book, one last novel, in an attempt to make money.